The Maze Project is like a recruiting camp for the Hitler Youth. That's basically what's going to happen in our history here. That the Maze will be a recruiting ground for the next generation of mass murderers. And why would it not be? If you glorify and justify the murder of policemen, soldiers, innocent civilians, women and children, that in some way it was justified for the romantic idea of a united Ireland, why would the next generation not take it up? And that is the mindset that they're trying to create. And this is why we're hated. And I mean hated. I'm a no to. But it's because they know that people like ourselves will not sit down and give them what they believe they're entitled to. Here's another thing. Talk about writing history. This is a monument in Crossmaglen. In Crossmaglen, an IRA monument that was put up in 79. Do you know how much they've asked for to fix it up? £85,000. £85,000 of European funding has been asked for to fix that monument up. It is a monument to a bunch of cutthroats, a bunch of murderers who kidnapped some of their own people, some of the Catholic people in that area, who would not partake in their murderers, butchers campaign, and hid their bodies so their families couldn't get them. They took men, tortured them. They lined men up against the side of minibuses and riddled them, and then went round and shot them in the back of the head. Now they're looking at a grant of £85,000, and members of the DUP are sitting on the committee. And then they wonder why we're so cross. This is not about revenge. This is about them not being allowed to justify what they did. Because if they do, they will write history. And they, in turn, will create the next generation of mass murderers. There's other things here whereby, talk about fraud. The IRA are cleaning millions out of the system. And nobody wants to do anything about it because it will upset the peace process. What price are you prepared to pay for peace? SEUPB, European funding body, told us that there was no money going to the Cullen Centre after we raised the issue about the young boys running about, children running about with hoods on them, dressed as IRA men, carrying AK-47s, rocket launchers, machine guns. Now that wasn't 10 years ago, that was a year, whatever, ago, where they were trying to glorify the IRA in a centre that is run by the IRA, in a centre that has got a memorial outside it that £100,000 didn't put up, that was paid for by European money. And they told us, oh, whenever we raised it, oh, there's no money going to them now. Well, take a look at that there. Another £67,000 has been given to them this year. Now, that's not Willie Fraser making this up. This is fact. There was another £170,000 given to them earlier on. We're not rolling over. We're not going away. We would ask people to start asking questions. This is not about creating trouble. This is about stopping trouble. Just think about it, folks. If you glorify the use of violence, why would the youth in the future not think it is a good idea to pick up a gun in the name of Ireland? And that's why the IRA are doing what they're doing. I have to say, after reading in the newsletter an article by Senator Harris, you would nearly think we read it ourselves. He is 100% on the nail. Exactly what he is saying. If you haven't read it, I'd advise you to go and get it. I would also, this man Alec Kane, although we mightn't agree on it, but I have to agree with him when he's writing about the concept of republicanism and what their plans are for the future. he is also 100% on the nail. If well-educated men like Alec Kane and Senator Harris can see now that the IRA simply are trying to justify their murderers, butchers campaign, not only for the past, but for the future, when will our politicians waken up? That now our own politicians is trying to dirty our names by tying us in with things that they know we're not guilty of. And because we will not bow the knee and roll over, after 2.5 years, we are being treated like tramps. That's exactly how we've been treated. The Kingsmills families, the Darkley families, the Tullyvallen families, people know. The good, genuine people know where I'm talking about. There is people who are on this gravy train, and it is a gravy train. And I'll go through some things here. You talk about history. This is why we are hated. Because the only people, and I will say this, and I will confront anybody who is prepared to stand and debate it with us. The only people who are standing between the IRA writing history is us. When I say us, I'm talking about the innocent victims, because we will not give justification for a dirty, stinking, murderous campaign carried out by the IRA. And this is what the Maze Project is all about. This is about recording a history. This is what it's all about. They want to write the romantic stories. The majority of the genuine men within the loyalist community have stepped back. Now the other people, who the majority of them done very little, are going around with these men, whining, dying, and telling them they weren't bad fellas. Well, that's not the case. I'm going to tell you what they are. They are a bunch of murderers. That's what they are.